Hi, everybody. Welcome to Dice Camera Action, our D&D show.
Nice save.
That timing was impeccable.
Nailed it.
Exactly. Before we jump into the recap, I just want to welcome Brooks Donahue for coming to us on our show. I was going to call you Sister Narai, but actually that's your character's name.
Yeah, to reiterate, nailed it.
Yes. And so, Brooks, we'll get to you in just a second. We're going to get through the recap, then we're going to do some off-crew business, and then we'll see what Sister Narai has been up to.
Swag, I am standing by.
Thank you. Previously, in Dice Camera Action, not long after the Waffle Crew returned to Waterdeep, Diath was confronted by dwarves who held him personally responsible for the deaths of over 50 of their kind in an unfortunate incident involving an iron flask and a fire primordial. And as part of the recompense for that crime, they instructed Diath that they were counting on him to recover a trove of dwarven gold hidden away somewhere in the city of Waterdeep. And over the course of the season, the characters have come into contact with various other individuals who have expressed an interest or desire to obtain said gold, and struck up alliances with them to one extent or another, including alliances with the Zentarum, the Castellanter family, a noble family with devil-worshipping tendencies, and the drow leader of the Bragan Derth, one Jarlaxle Bainray. Jarlaxle, of course, suggesting a partnership. The Castellanters seeking a partnership so that they can use the money to save the children whose souls they damned in exchange for power years ago. And the Zentarum because, hey, they're a shady, sinister shadow empire who thinks gold is great. But the party has had some good contacts with the Zentarum in the past. Not all of them seem to be bad eggs, and at least one of their evil leaders, Manchun, is dead. When last we left the Waffle Crew, they were in their house, the top floor of which had exploded. And so the house is kind of a mess.
Kind of.
Wait, does that leave any floors unexploded?
The first floor, the second floor, and the third, and well, the first and the second floor are habitable at this point.
Okay.
The Diath also set out, with Strix's help and a little bit of moral support from Jarlaxle, to reconstruct Evelyn's axe, Lightfall, which has been shattered since Season 2. And now, Evelyn, you have this weapon in your hands, and holding it for 5 or 10 minutes or so, you can attune to it, and you haven't attuned to it in a long time. So you feel its warmth course through you once the attunement takes hold, and you discover what its other powers are, which is, while you're not carrying a shield, like on your hands, arms, you gain a +1 bonus to your AC while holding Lightfall with one hand, or a +2 bonus to your AC if you're holding it with both hands. Ooh. Essentially using it as a deflection tool as well as a weapon.
Sick.
Also, when you hit a creature with the weapon and deal radiant damage, such as from your Divine Smite, the excess radiance can be turned into rays of healing. That is, in addition to its normal effect, up to 6 creatures of your choice within 30 feet of you regain 1d10 hit points.
What?
Oh.
As rays spring out of the weapon and strike them full of healing energy.
So cool.
And finally, you can cast the spell Sunbeam from the weapon, but after doing so, Lightfall must spend 1 hour recharging in the sunlight to regain that ability. And Sunbeam is kind of a badass 6th level spell.
Better than Moonbeam?
It's
People
better.
can't do 6th level spells, so that's...
Yeah. It creates a beam of brilliant light that springs from the weapon in a 5-foot wide, 60-foot long cone, and creatures in the line must make a Constitution saving throw. If they fail the save, they take 6d8 radiant damage and are blinded until your next turn. And on a successful save, they take half damage and aren't blinded. And undead and oozes, oddly enough, have disadvantage on the saving throw.
Yeah, fuck you, oozes.
Ew, gross. So it's like kind of comparable in some ways to Thunderwave.
And the best part of it is you can then continue to create new lines of radiance as your action on subsequent turns for up to a minute. So, pew, 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 pew.
Sunbeam pew pew.
Yeah, exactly.
This is so cool.
The light is also considered to be sunlight. So creatures that have particular aversions and things to sunlight don't like this spell.
Sick. Evelyn has been playing with this nonstop and just shouting at Dieth when she figures out new things it can do.
They're inside the house. They're in the house. Dad, look!
Yeah. Periodically, there are like people walking around outside, and this stray beam of brilliant sunlight will just rocket out of a window or a... Yeah. Okay.
And then a giggle.
So you all, the group received an invitation. Later on, let's say for argument's sake, the next day, you get a visitor who shows up on your doorstep. And he's kind of dressed like a wizard, got wizardly robes on. He's a maybe 20-something, 25, 28-ish year old young man with spectacles. Looks very intelligent. And he's kind of soft-spoken. Introduces himself as Andvar Sunbreeze. He says he is Lady Rajnar's proxy in charge of running the auction. And he comes with a package which he sets down on a table, and you can see that it contains clothing and masks. The clothing are all burgundy, very stylish burgundy robes that can be worn over other apparel. There are hats and cowls and high collars on the robes and harlequin masks to conceal faces, so that fully garbed, you look like somebody out of Eyes Wide Shut. There's no easy way to recognize who the wearer is unless they speak or betray themselves in some other way.
So this is part of like the auction, the way it kind of runs, so it's kind of anonymous?
He says effectively that, yes. In order to guarantee the anonymity of the bidders and the potential winner, these costumes can be worn. You may opt not to, of course, but I guarantee you some of the other auction attendees will be wearing them, because no one wants to attract undue attention.
Yeah, definitely wouldn't want that. I think we'll probably wear them, if everyone else is okay with that.
Does Evelyn think they are pretty?
They are very dramatic. It's like once when Evelyn was a little girl, she may have gone to a theater and watched a performance with a choir, and all the choir singers were dressed in these garments so that they all looked the same. And just their voices.
The whole look the same as everyone else thing, but if Dia says they should wear it, she puts it on.
And Andvar makes it clear you don't have to wear it now. Just prior to the auction this evening, he or someone else appointed by him is going to come by and usher you to the auction location by magic.
Alton's just like, I dig it, and they'll just wear it now.
Okay.
I mean, Strix doesn't really have a choice, so she'll probably just wear it.
Okay.
But I don't know how she's gonna hide her hair under it.
Yeah. Andvar says he has to make other stops in the city to other attendees, but he does give you the opportunity to ask him any questions you might have about the auction before he departs.
Is there any problem with bringing weapons? I have a new toy and I don't want to leave it at home.
There's no rules against bringing weapons.
Woo!
Oh, that seems smart.
Will there be on-site guards or protection in case an altercation were to break out?
He says, the individuals who will be running the auction will be well protected. It will be up to the bidders to take care of their own.
Great. And what's like the catering look like?
He says, we have the best catering.
I guess that'll do.
So the auction itself, is it like a silent auction where we just kind of put down how like our top amount we're willing to pay, or is it like a live?
It's a live bidding auction, and everyone will be given signs with numbers on them. You'll pick the sign when you arrive. That will be your number, and when you hold the sign up, it will be an indication to the auctioneer that you are bidding. The bidding is set to start at 10,000 gold pieces, increasing by 5,000 gold pieces with each bid until we hit 100,000 gold pieces. If that happens, the bids will then increase by 25,000 gold piece increments.
And question about that. Are we able to pick our numbers?
Yes, the signs will be ready. They'll be waiting for you at the location. The earlier you arrive, the more number choices you will have.
Fantastic.
Okay. Great.
I wonder what Paulton's gonna pick. Is anyone else that we know gonna be there? Like, is any of the city guard gonna be there, or anyone from Acquisitions Incorporated, or anyone else that of note?
No group that is attending the auction knows who else has been invited.
Oh.
Yeah, we do have these masks. I guess more meta way. Did Evelyn and Paulton actually end up finishing that transaction with Manchun's cloak?
So they still have the cloak. They ended up taking it back with them with the understanding that some paperwork would be delivered for them to review. Essentially a contract, they would review it, and if they were happy with the terms of the contract, then it could proceed. So they're waiting on that.
Okay, so no. We don't suddenly have 50,000 additional gold pieces we could use.
Not yet.
Will.
Great.
And I still have it, right?
You still have the cloak?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Great.
Strix is wondering if they need her to be invisible and just go around and maybe like press to digitate people's numbers so that they say the wrong thing.
That actually was something I was considering. I don't know yet.
All right. She's just going to sit there and offer her totally dishonest services.
It's a good idea, though. We'll have to see how this goes.
All right. Well, she says that there's no good thing that she can do in any sort of situation that involves outfits this fancy. So,
All right, well, I'll let you know.
I will be at your service.
If there are no more questions, then I will take my leave. And as I said, either I or another designated representative will be back later today to teleport, or rather use a teleportation circle spell to transport to the auction location.
Sounds lovely. Thank you.
Wait, I have a question before you leave.
He looks at you attentively.
Everyone else has their questions? Because I have a last question for them.
Yeah, Paulton, have at it.
For me, good sir, could you have a good day?
Yes, I shall. Thank you.
Then no further questions.
And he'll leave.
Can I take this brief moment to ask another question about Lightfall?
Yes, absolutely.
Does it still, because it was blessed and it did an additional 2d6 radiant damage against fiends or undead, does it still do that?
It still has all of its original properties.
All the original. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Great.
Yep.
And there is no equivalent weapon to this in like existing D&D items that I could find on
Correct.
D&D Beyond. Okay, cool.
Correct.
Thank you.
Yours is unique.
That's what's up.
All right. So, is there anything in particular you want to, just in summary, like to do before you are whisked away this evening?
Man, I'm not entirely super sure.
You hear the kids stomping around upstairs.
Maybe take care of that. What?
Diath,
Yes.
I have a request.
What is it?
We need to keep the cloak safe and guarded
Yeah.
before the paperwork comes in, as to not lose out on this, and I quote, ass load of money we are going to get.
Right.
Do you have like some kind of secure chest or container or like a box that like locks up that we can keep it in? I feel like you'd be the guy to hit up for that.
Sadly, Paulton, no, I don't. Not anymore.
Disappointing.
Sure is.
Trix, maybe you could put it in some sort of other like dimension or something.
I can't do that.
Could you make it a chicken and
I
put
mean,
it
I
in
can just
a
wear
jar?
it. Why don't you just let me wear it? I'll just put it on.
That is a fantastic idea.
Isn't it
Question
really
mark?
No,
evil?
it won't attune to me, even though it's evil. It won't do anything. It just won't work
Right.
because I'm not evil.
Yeah.
At least as far as I know, I'm not evil. I might be. Am I evil?
Not yet.
Evil check. She puts her hand to her forehead like a mom.
He's like, as much as I hate myself, I must be evil.
No, not evil. I would know.
It's okay. You still got time. But for now, cloak, wear. Good
All
idea.
right. Okay, Strix will put it on. Not that she's no stranger to multiple layers.
Yeah,
So she'll put on that and then put the other outfit on top of it.
sure. She feels strangely kind of burdened by it, but she'll be
Ugh.
fine.
Ugh, gross. I don't like it. It's itchy.
Yeah, it's very
There's
itchy.
a bunch of
All
chicken.
right.
Ugh.
And I inform everyone that evil is itchy.
It wasn't bothering Paulton, though. I don't know. Yeah.
That is, as it is written in the great text, that evil itches like a fiend.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll put that on and then put my other garments on top of it.
Yes. The more theatrical garments that have been provided to you are very light. They hardly weigh anything as you toss the gown over you with the high collar. And as you fit the hat on, you won't be able to wear your hat, Strix, and the hat that accompanies this.
Oh, I'll just wear the hat that's for the outfit.
Okay.
I am going to complain that the robe is going to Jim though, and just say that we need to take the collar off because he doesn't need that sort of fanciful accoutrement to add to his already giant, tall ego.
Yeah.
You know what? I agree.
I say, however, this Jim wants to wear it is totally their call. They are the purchaser. So I just want it to be sold in the condition that it was sold in. I don't want to show up with last second
Wow.
revisions.
I'll make sure to sweat in it a lot.
Perfect.
Yeah, we could probably upcharge for that.
All right. Any other business?
Wait, do you want me to do the legal thing or not?
Look, here's the thing. I know we're going in here, and everyone's expecting me to have a plan and how we can handle this to make sure we get the Stone of Galore, and I'm gonna level with you guys. I got nothing.
We can switch it out for a fake.
That would require creating a fake in a limited amount of time. And at the same time, the last thing I want to do is somehow draw the ire of both Jorlaxel or the Castellanters, because as far as either party knows, I'm helping them. But that shouldn't be our goal. The one thing that we really need to make sure is that neither one of them end up with that stone.
Back up. Stone of what now?
The Stone of Galore, a special artifact of sorts that's somehow a key to getting people into the Undermountain to find this treasure hoard of hundreds of thousands of gold pieces.
What if, last resort, just saying, if I'm wearing this robe, I could alter myself to look like Manchun and then steal it and be like, boo, I'm Manchun.
Whether
then
it works or not, that
I
would
could
be
just
hilarious.
recall myself back to our house with the stone, and everyone would be like, "Oh no, Manshun stole it."
The only flaw with this I could possibly think of is that don't people know Manchun is dead?
No, he had a bunch of clones.
Oh, that's so true.
Yeah, there was like 4 Manshun. I don't know.
I actually don't hate that plan.
I think it's great.
As long as
Oh no, I'm Manshun.
as long as you think you can pull it off and get yourself out of there safely.
I don't care.
I mean,
Fine.
I wouldn't consider this like, this is something we're doing for good, right? Yet this isn't just like lying and stealing, right? As far as I understand it, I admit that's a little complicated for me with all these people and keeping track of who's evil and who's not.
Right. I mean, I don't consider either one of them to be, worthy of all this money. And besides, that the money doesn't belong to them.
Right. So in
Look.
this case, it's like a, rightful place kind of situation.
Right. The money needs to go to the right place.
Right. And so does this stone of Gabor.
Right.
Not to point it out, but as I was putting out that idea, Chris was smiling a little bit too much.
I saw that.
I'm glad he's happy.
Great.
Anyway, but yeah, so that's my idea. So, that is all I got. Putting myself in harm's way for everyone else.
Well, it's a good idea, Strix. Definitely keep that in mind because it might come to that.
All right. Then just give me a wink or something when it's time to turn into Manshun underneath my other outfit and walk up to the stone and be like, "Boo!" and then leave.
Okay. I'll give you a signal. You'll know.
Okay. All right. That's our backup plan.
All right.
Sounds good.
Then if there is no other business, the day passes. You clean up the house a little bit, at least try to make the downstairs presentable so that people can come back in and buy stuff. And
If
then,
the coven is there,
Yeah.
we'll also make sure that they also kind of keep an eye on the kids too.
okay, I was going to ask how you're going to babysit the kids this time. They can definitely do that.
Yeah, I'll tell Deer now she's in charge.
Okay. And then,
But no killing.
No killing.
No
No
killing.
killing.
Children.
fair. Okay. Anvar returns at about, I'm going to say 6 bells, 6 p.m., and asks you if you're ready to go.
Yeah, everyone make sure we're dressed up in our robes and masks first.
Okay.
Evelyn,
So-
although she's supposed to look like everyone else, very obviously has a giant shield on her back underneath her robe and a giant battle axe sticking out through the neck hole mounted on her back.
Is she also oddly floating in place a little bit, like the bottom of her robe, just scraping against?
Yeah. Because all of a sudden she's actually an average height, but she seems to be kind of floating at that average height.
Woo!
Yeah.
I like it.
Okay. And then, since you're all dressed up in your costumes, and I love the idea that the bottom of Evelyn's robe just sort of billows, kind of because her feet aren't actually touching the ground.
The way she has Untitled Champions, she's just kind of like this.
Just drifts, just kind of bobs. And Anvar says he needs to inscribe a circle on the floor, if that's all right. He'll do it in chalk so it can be cleaned off.
Oh, for the teleportation circle?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine, right?
Okay.
Strix, is that fine? Is that how it works?
I mean, at this point, I'm pretty sure we're not worried about the floors.
As long as it doesn't interfere with my recall spell, that's fine.
No, he assures you it will not.
Okay.
And then once he completes that, and that takes him about a minute, he then puts the chalks away and pulls out some precious stones and begins casting the spell. With all of you standing in the circle together, you are suddenly whisked away teleported into a chamber that is made of stone. It looks like a quarter of a hemisphere. So one long wall kind of has a rounded quality and arcs up toward a point on the ceiling. And then there are two flat walls that converge at 90-degree angles. So it does kind of look like, if you were to look at this room top down, it would look like the quarter of a circle. There is a door on the arcing circular outer wall, also made of stone, with some wizardly runes carved into it. It looks super, super fancy. The circle that you appear in is similar to the one you left, but a little bit more care and time was taken in its design so that it would kind of, it looks more like a permanent or semi-permanent fixture here. The room is decorated with tapestries. There are two other exits besides the ornate door, one on each of the flat walls. And one of those exits is blocked by a pair of statues that have halberds actually crossed such that they're right in front of the door, basically blocking it. But the other exit is thrown wide open, and you can see a larger semicircular chamber, roughly semicircular chamber beyond, that voices are coming out of, as well as music. And it seems like a gathering area for the guests. You can smell food and wine, and you can see tables covered with tablecloths and all sorts of decorations, including what appear to be ice sculptures.
I'm like 110% doing the whole like grandma putting snacks in her purse thing. Just like taking like, you know, and just putting them in there.
There are valets in this room who are there to address any needs you might have. They're just sort of standing on each side of the open double door. And inside the room, you catch a glimpse of Amalia Castellanter kind of leaning over and looking at some food.
We can tell it's her. She's not in
And she is not in costume.
Oh, that's a power play.
That sure is.
And then you see some servants in there as well. And you hear voices of other people in the room, but you don't see them.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
All right, Diaz, what's the plan? What are we doing?
I told you I don't know.
Anvar says, if you will kindly just stand to the side off the circle, I have to leave and collect some more guests.
Oh, yeah, sorry. We'll step out of the circle. Sorry.
Yeah.
Also, I'm holding the Staff of Power right now, too.
Oh,
Sorry,
okay.
the Staff of the Magi. So, like, just in case, like, I'm just like, yeah, I'm a real fancy mage. You don't know who's under here. Maybe it's Banshoon.
Ooh.
If possible, in my outfit, I actually would like to have put the Cape of Billowing under the robe.
Oh, sure.
So that occasionally while I'm staying there, I can just make it like... be like,
Fair.
oh.
Awesome. So
Okay.
each one of you will be very recognizable in the crowd. I'm so glad.
Like,
Yeah.
Who are you talking about, sir? There's anonymity. None of us know who anyone here is.
Oh, yes, indeed. Good sir.
Impeccable. Well, the first thing we should try to do is maybe figure out where the stone itself is.
Stone? What stone?
I'm looking to buy a stone.
I
Rex,
wish
you
to
need to help
find
find where
some
the stone is.
pottery or jewelry or weaponry or...
Watching this is painful for me. So I'm going to walk away and just like silently listen to everyone, or just like act like I'm eating snacks and just try and overhear people.
All right. When you walk through the double doors into the larger room, leaving your accented friends behind, you see immediately...
We're strolling by the snack table. Like,
Yeah.
Floating, just your little robe.
Hi, yes, we'll buy all the things.
Oh my god.
You pass by a table that has a number of numbered signs. They're basically sticks with numbers at the top of them on placards. Very decorative looking with little gold filigree frames. And you can see that they're all sort of laid out in numerical order in multiple rows.
Are people taking them already, or does it seem like we're waiting?
It doesn't look like anybody has taken a number yet.
One there.
One is there.
Evelyn takes one.
What is the number range, Chris?
1 to 68. No, I'm just kidding.
Called out. Wow.
Odd number to end.
Wow.
I'm just saying, Chris is definitely watching this stream right now. I'm just like, oh, you steal 69 from Paul.
The numbers go up to 24.
I will take. Can I take 12?
Yeah.
He
Like-
grabs 12,
like-
like mutters to himself. He's like, 12. Looks around. He's like, no one's gonna get that. Oh well, I get it. Walks away, kind of defeated.
Okay. Anvar will say before he disappears in the circle that you can either take one number to represent your group, or if you plan to bid individually, you can have multiple numbers. And you don't have to take them now. You can wait until just before the auction begins, and then he starts casting his spell to leave.
I'll probably just wait to see what's left over.
Okay. Well, currently there's 2 through 11 and 13 through 24.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll probably wait closer to the actual
Sure.
meeting.
Strix, when you walk into the room, you can see that there are multiple tables spread out over the area. This room is also part of what seems to be a very much larger sphere or hemisphere that this building is shaped in. You can see that apart from the resplendent displays of food and the rugs and the tapestries and all the other adornments, servants walking around with platters that have wine flutes on them, there are a number of figures who have already arrived. None of them are wearing the costumes.
What? So we're just wearing these costumes and no one else is?
Apparently everybody else who's here right now elected to come as they are.
Whatever.
And
What fools!
I mentioned.
So you can see some familiar faces, including the Castellanters, Victoro and Amalia. You see near Victoro is his tall tiefling manservant, the snooty fellow, who mistook you once for a chimney sweep.
That's right.
You also see a number of other familiar faces, including Zentara members that you met at the docks early in the campaign.
Oh, yeah.
Including a dark-skinned dwarf in gold armor, whose name escapes you.
Sure does.
A sun elf, Bard, and his female half-orc bodyguard. And Sister Narai.
Okay, I remember Sister Narai.
Yes. When last you saw Sister Narai, she was helping you at the Waffle House defend against a Xanathar attack.
Oh, what an array of persons there are!
Yes, such a colorful group.
Pronounced a Narai of persons, actually. Thank you.
And Sister Narai, you see this veiled figure with a staff, and 2 more or 3 more enter behind that person, all dressed the same. And your retinue opted against the costumes simply because Istrid, being a dwarf, didn't feel like she was fooling anybody.
Okay, so and can I roll to see if they clearly recognize me? Can I roll to see if I recognize these guys, or do I recognize them?
As they start to pour into the room, you can make an insight check to see if there's anything about them that might betray who they are.
Yeah,
Probably
that's gonna be
lots.
No, right there. It's a. Oh wait, do I have it?
What is that?
Oh,
Oh,
no.
that one.
Yeah,
No, you're
so
not.
all that great luck that I had my first session.
Yeah.
I guess
There
that
we
was
go.
just my first session.
No, they're kind of strange, But other than that, you haven't put the pieces together yet. As the rest of you look around the room and recognize Sister Narai and the members of the Zentarum and the Castellanters, you also see that Sister Narai was, up until this moment, talking to a male dwarf with bad fire scars on his face and body. And
Sick.
Diath, you recognize him as Casgrid Dragonheel, the survivor of Iron Slag.
Is he the
I wanna-
sole survivor? I can't remember.
He was the one witness who you met, who was actually at the scene.
Gotcha.
I wanna go over to Evelyn and just kind of whisper like, "Hey, yeah, I changed my mind. Is it too late to pick a different voice?"
Oh, okay.
Oh no, you don't have to. I just
I
thought
can
of a
change
better
it to
voice.
go with yours if you want.
No, you don't have to. It'll be fun. Okay,
Okay.
I'm gonna go with the good one.
Okay.
All right. So Paulton's gonna go up to Dieth. He's gonna be like, "Ooh, interesting to see you here." Yeah.
Not cool.
Mr. Burns at the same time or something.
While this is going on, the Sun Elf bard Davil Starsong he goes off and sort of uses the restroom while his the restroom on the opposite side of the room, and his half-orc bodyguard stands outside while he does. Lady Castellanter comes over to your group, and I need to make an insight check for her. See if she knows who you are.
Miss it. Miss it. Miss it.
Not awesome. Okay. And she walks over and says, "Do you know who I am?"
Ooh, me?
No, should we?
I am Lady Amalia Castellanter of House Castellanter, one of the most influential families in Waterdeep.
Oh, that's so quaint.
Oh, so divine. Yes.
I want that stone. And if you stand
Y'all.
and if you stand in my way, you won't leave here alive.
Oh, well, don't worry about that. I'm pretty sure it's a seated auction, so we'll all be fine.
Do I hear this?
Oh yes, you're right there.
But they said they wouldn't kill me. I say that out
I'm gonna give
loud.
her another roll. And she said, "You
like,
sound
what
familiar."
I just walk away.
What an odd creature she was.
I just walk away.
That's like
I
Oblivion.
just let
style.
any rabble in here these days.
Well, goodbye.
And then she takes her drinks, both of them, and walks away. In fact, she downs one and puts it on a tray and then keeps the other one.
Oh,
Yeah, no matter what, she can't have that stone.
should I drug her?
What? You have drugs?
I mean, I've already got some like I've got those sleepy time pies that I give Squidly.
Oh.
They're just sleepy time pies that I give Squidly when I don't want to listen to him anymore.
That sounds like parenting.
That sounds like drugging minors. Child abuse?
I'd say Squidly's actually pretty major, so.
Fair. Fair.
Weren't we gonna pretend that she was Manchun and she's just gonna?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna do that.
I love how a plan holds together.
We're real good at playing.
This is going great.
Yeah, I'm gonna do
Supposed
that.
to be the mastermind behind the plan. Tell us what to do.
I have a plan, don't worry, it'll be great.
Don't let him do the plan.
You should let me do it.
He's having too much fun with the theatrics. Just
Maybe
like
Sister
that.
Narai knows something. Sister Narai starts like
Sister
waves.
Who?
So, Sister Rai,
Do I overhear? I'm overhearing. I'm gonna like roll. I'm rolling to overhear that. Like if some, I don't know. So that's like perception, 21 perception.
Oh yeah, it clicks.
And then I like look, and does it click like they're talking about me, or does it click like, oh motherfucker, these guys?
These guys.
Oh, okay. And I look, and I just like make eye contact, and immediately turn away. Like, and why are of all the people to be here?
Like when you recognize someone at a party, and you're like, oh,
It's like when your ex is there.
Right.
It'd be easier if we don't talk about them, but they definitely noticed me. So, yeah, I'm gonna stay kind of conspicuously like turned away, but definitely overhearing with that 21.
Oh, no.
I know. Diet. How about Paulton and I revive the hit series Distraction Force, and you and Strix orchestrate the stone stealing?
A great start. Before anything else, we need to know where this stone even is. We'll have to do some recon. So,
Oh. Do you want me to go rat over there? I can go look as a rat.
enjoy the party? Everyone mingle. Maybe try to listen in, eavesdrop, gather whatever information you can. When you turn to a rat, all your clothes go with you, right?
Yeah. Everything goes with me.
Yeah.
Good plan. Sounds good. And Paul's just gonna turn and like walk to like a different group of people talking. Whoever's nearby.
Probably the closest to you, Paulton, would be Lord Castellanter and his tiefling manservant.
I'm just gonna walk. I'm gonna walk up. Just be like, "Oh, what a fancy dinner party we're at here." Yes.
All right, Victorio is going to make a check to see if he cracks this disguise of yours. Oh, okay, he rolled pretty good. You can make a deception check since you're you're concealing yourself.
Yes, I can.
Opposed by his insight.
So, 22.
Okay. He says, he kind of hears you, then smiles and says, "Ah, very good. You've arrived. Excellent. And I see you brought your friends. Diath, is it? Diath Woodrow, right? Oh, have I got that wrong?
I know not of who you speak, darling. Just starts stirring to where like wine's like overpouring.
He says, I trust you've had a few days now to consider our arrangement, a possible deal, what we can do for you. The Castellanter family is influential, as I said. And, of course, this is for our children.
Well, I'm just kind of, Well, that didn't work.
And then you can actually hear him say out loud to the tiefling, I'm not sure we can count on them.
That's
I
right.
like turn around and do a quick little suggestion and be like, yes, you can.
All right, you're going to cast the spell?
Yeah.
Oh,
All right.
Oh man,
no.
if you can't even take getting red without throwing out a suggestion spell, man.
What's the save DC?
Would you say my hand from hell is on my person?
That's entirely up to you.
Okay.
I'd love to know where on your person it is. But
Don't
yes,
answer that.
we can say it is.
Probably like I would like tucked like into like my belt or something. He's just like kind of hooked onto a belt loop.
Got it. Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay,
why wouldn't
so-
you bring your hand to a party? I don't. Yeah.
Exactly. So so with the hand, it's wisdom 20.
Okay. You cast the spell. It does not take hold.
Oops.
And I would like at least you for the moment to roll initiative because I don't think anybody else really got a sense of what's going on yet.
No, I was gonna say before this happened that I was already a rat. Like I'm already a rat. As soon as like it was like we need reconnaissance, I'm like I'm gone.
Okay.
I can't talk to these people without
So
fucking up.
you just sort of you disappear essentially down into rat form and like crawl around a table like the
Yes.
underneath a tablecloth.
I'm just trying to find where the stone is.
Got it. So, Paulton, what was your initiative?
18.
18. Oops.
Now you gone done it.
What do you do when you realize the spell hasn't taken hold and Victoro seems, first of all, aghast, and then really, his face goes from surprise to blistering anger.
Yeeg.
I tell him, so I'm still like pretty close to him, right?
Yeah. And you can also realize now, because he's a half elf, you think he's actually super resistant to charms.
I'm just like, all right, look, I'm so sorry. I just have to play into this role. It doesn't have to do with you. We are absolutely looking forward to working with you. This is just something that like needs to be played up. Just like play along. They're watching, but it's okay. It's okay. We're in this together. We are in this together. Don't worry. You have my word.
Okay, and that's your action?
Yeah, is that any kind of role?
Give him the entire plan. Is that an action or a bonus action?
Yeah, you can make another deception check
Oh my god.
against his insight.
I'm trying to.
No, you're deceiving him.
Oh, okay, cool, great. Okay, so that is a 27.
Okay.
And again, I'm so sorry.
Your complex motives and twisted plots confuse him for a moment, and then suddenly the anger disappears. As quickly as the anger appeared on his face, it disappears, and he just laughs.
Yeah.
Did you?
Can we just have a shot of just them laughing to each other like 30 seconds straight?
Exactly.
Paulton's laughing with him, just like.
Did you just a prank?
That's
him?
very good, because I was about to banish you.
That's good. Yeah, I do that too. That's a good one. That gets him every time, right? Right?
Half elf.
Yeah, I know, right?
Right.
Who would try and in their right mind, suggest to a half elf?
And while this is going on, the rest of you can see that Amalia Castellanter has maneuvered herself behind Paulton. Not very close, but close enough that should her husband give her any sign, any signal, even so much as a wink, she would snuff him out.
Ooh.
Can Evelyn come up with a drink and be like, "Ah, see you!"
Absolutely.
And right in her face.
Yes.
During all of this, Strix and Dieth go in like opposite direction for recon?
Yeah, Strix, you see, is
Yeah.
just scuttling away on the floor.
Yeah, just whatever, just disperse. Strix rats around, and I'll kind of like maneuver through crowds and try to overhear and try to kind of get a vibe for what everyone's intent is.
Okay.
Um,
That's an insight check. And it's a perception check for you, Strix, to see if you
Okay.
notice anything from your new ultra-low rat's eye
Right.
view.
Can I quick check in? So it sounds like Paulton and Paladin, the other
Evelyn.
Evelyn.
Yes, Evelyn. Thank you. Are together, and then Strix and Diath kind of veered off. Correct.
Yeah, correct.
So they're both. So it's three. So Strix and Diath are both alone, as opposed to.
Well, you don't see Strix because she kind of
Sure.
disappeared, but Diath
So as
is
far
alone.
as I can see, Diath is alone. Okay, great.
yeah,
Or who you might assume is Diath, because they're the three of that you can see are still costumed.
Okay,
I mean,
sensible.
Yeah.
you could probably put it together.
Yeah, by now by the way they move, and the fact that Diath hasn't said anything yet, probably means that's him.
Okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
Just
So,
a minute.
Diath, what was your role?
Insight was 18.
With that, you can see that people basically here, who aren't servants, are just waiting impatiently for the auction to begin. They just want to get the stone and get out.
Okay, but that sounds like pretty much everyone here is for the stone.
Yes, absolutely everyone here. Nobody here seems to be here for any other reason that you can ascertain.
Damn. Okay.
Strix, what was your role?
6.
Okay. Your rat's eye view gives you basically a good look at people's boots and boot buckles.
Okay.
And you can look up their garments.
Oh, I don't do that.
Right. But you don't see much on the floor. The floor is absolutely cleaned. There's no sign of the stone down here,
All right.
or hidden underneath a table, say, or anything like that. No sign of the stone whatsoever.
Can I cast as a rat or no?
No, because you have to be able to do the components of the spell.
Okay, well, maybe this one doesn't need it. Let me see. Because I wanted to cast Detect Magic.
Does it have? Well, it would have some
Look.
components. You can't speak as a rat. You can't somatic component as a rat, and you can't use material components in your current form because your material components are absorbed.
Okay. Can I turn back into myself under a table?
You absolutely can do that.
Okay, I'm under a table now as myself, and I'm going to cast Detect Magic to try and find the stone.
Okay. Sister Narai, you see this like end of a staff sort of stick out from underneath the table.
Whoops.
Strix hasn't noticed.
So if I have an opportunity, can I use could I use my deflect missiles to catch the end of? I mean, clearly the spell gets cast, but could I snatch the end of the staff and look under the table to see whose staff that is?
Yeah, you can just lift up
Or
the
is Lord
tablecloth.
Castellanter just excited? Let me take a look. I'll lift up the tablecloth.
Yeah, you see Strix is like casting a spell under there, and she hasn't noticed you yet.
All right. So Narai is going to look under the table, and just kind of poke her head down and say, "What the hell are you doing?"
I'm trying to find the stupid stone of Galore thing so I can turn into Manchun and take it.
Noted.
This is going swimmingly. Diath, as you wander off, you see through the open doors into the greeting hall new arrivals. Anvar appears and is joined by 3 figures. 2 women dressed outlandishly. They almost kind of look like cabaret dancers. And a man, lithe, scantily clad, with sort of crisscrossing leather straps in place of a shirt, his bare chest and chest hair visible underneath, and tall thigh-high boots. You see he's got full mane of curly hair, a handlebar mustache, and a Van Dyke beard, and he's got a mug of ale in one hand and a pirate's hat on the other.
Looks like he's from wherever Evil Dieth was from.
And a guitar in the shape of a mystical symbol.
Right, exactly. And he's got these 2 ladies basically on his arms when he arrives, and the 3 of them are just laughing and having a ball. And they come sauntering in, prancing, really. They enter the room.
And they're not wearing the robes either, huh?
Correct.
Cool.
In fact, you wish they were wearing more
Yeah.
of anything.
Yeah.
Nice.
And we were the ones who showed up to the costume party that wasn't a costume party in costume. We got.
Well, no, it just so happens that you're in a room with a bunch of flaming egotists.
It's the narcissist convention. It's
Pretty
fine.
much. This is the narcissism. This is
Narcicon?
Narcon. Yeah, Narcicon.
Narcon is a different thing, I think.
Fair.
All good. It's all good. Just...
Narcicon will do.
All right. Well, he sounds fabulous, and I will do my best to not get in his way or his attention at all.
Okay.
Evelyn will grab Lady Castellanter and swing her around and be like, "Look at that dish! Isn't he a sweet piece of sugar leather?"
I'm really glad you
What's bad
said.
at this?
I'm really glad you said dish.
Yeah.
Because my brain went somewhere completely else.
Well, that's the difference between Diathene Bloom, I guess.
Amalia sort of tears herself away and says, "Don't touch me."
So here, have a drink.
She swats it down on the floor.
How dare you?
I am mortified at your manners.
I've never. You're ruining a dinner party.
You're out of wine. It's all on the
It's
floor. It's like helicoptered it all onto the floor.
And it's at that point, since you're both fairly close to her, you can see that she wears around her neck an absolutely stunning gold chain that has a tiny reliquary, almost like a little vial at the end of it, and it seems to be filled of red fluid, like blood.
Interesting.
Oh, what's that on your neck?
She says, "You are ghastly people," and she walks away.
How
Questions you
rude.
want to know the answer to. I'm just saying.
Fair.
At this point in time, Paulton, while you're distracted, the tiefling manservant has very subtly handed Victoro his walking cane. You can see that it is a resplendent gold long rod that he uses to walk that has sort of a glittering ruby on its tip. And Victoro now has that in his possession. He says, "Ah, that must be Captain Zord. I've been looking so forward to meeting him." And he walks over to introduce himself to the new arrival. At which point, all of you can see Victoro come over, greet Captain Zord. They shake hands. Captain Zord loudly and boisterously proclaims, "Why, this is the dreariest party I've ever been to. But it's much better now that we're here. Oh, look at that!" And he goes over to this ice sculpture and climbs up on the table and starts humping it.
I'm definitely not
Lord.
looking at this.
I am scandalized.
Paulton's just, yeah, I'm out. I just like take off the costume. Yeah, I'm like, I am over this.
So now everybody can see Paulton.
Why did you do that?
I mean, I'm famous here anyway, so whatever. This
That's
party
the
just got
point.
cooler.
You shouldn't be showing your face.
That's fine. Just,
I didn't plan ingress and egress for your signing.
Look, this whole plan, I have no idea where we expected to go with this. And now I'm tired. I'm going to get more wine. You can continue. You're doing great.
Evelyn's like this to the whatever's going on with the ice sculpture, and she goes over to see if she can find Strix.
Okay. Strix, you cast your spell?
Yes, there's staff sticking out of one of the under the tables.
Yes. And at the end of the spell, what happens?
I mean, I'm hoping to find the stone. I want to know where the stone is.
Okay. And it has a range of what, 1,000 feet?
Yeah.
Okay. It doesn't register as being anywhere within the range of the spell.
Okay. So stupid. This whole thing's stupid. All right. I just get out from under the table and stand there, and I'm just like, gonna wait until they tell me to take it.
Some more people arrive. These ones are costumed, like you.
Okay, good.
Oh, thank God.
And by then, the drunk Captain Zord climbs off the table, realizing riding an ice sculpture is probably not the most comfortable thing in the world. He needs a little help getting off the table, apparently, but the two ladies with him help him down. And he goes looking for some more wine and just happens to reach for the same glass Paulton does.
Oof.
Does he like touch it?
Yeah.
Just like, yeah, that's all you, buddy. Go ahead.
And he says, "I am Captain Zord."
I did not ask.
And then he
But,
leans in.
But really, I'm an old friend. An old drow friend.
Oh no.
I like go for the wine again. It's like, you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna need that more than you.
He lets you take it, and he says,
We are working together to get the stone, no?
It's like, are you really asking? You're asking me what the plan is?
"All right, how ridiculous of me." And he walks away.
Yeah, thank you. Gosh, like, know your demographic, dude. Yeah. Do I like see like where I could suspect that the items for auction are being like held or secured?
There's been no indication that the objects are on display. You've seen no displays.
And
There is,
like
there is, however, apart from the exit you came through, the greeting chamber, there is another closed set of double doors that haven't been breached yet. So maybe they're behind there.
I'm gonna go for those doors. And
Okay.
is anyone like, is there anyone guarding it or
Nope.
anything?
Nope. There are servants wandering around, but they're not anywhere near the doors. When you go over and you crack them open, you can see that the room beyond is another quarter of a circle. It sort of completes the circle on this level. And there is an auction stage to your left, and then the rest of the room are chairs arranged on a riser. It kind of looks like a lecture hall, arranged on a higher riser where people can sit in rows. You bet that this is probably where the auction is going to be held. But again, you don't see any items on display in here.
Well, I was right about the seating. Is there a door?
Yeah, and there are only 24 seats too in the room. There is another door in that room. Based on your idea of what the configuration of this layout is, you think that door leads back around to the greeting room. It's the door that's blocked by the statues on the other side.
Huh.
So there are no
then-
other exits.
And there doesn't really seem like there's anything else, any other like inside areas or anything like that.
No, and then there's a couple bathrooms.
I'm gonna go back out to who in the party is like closest.
Strix. She's under a table still, but
Yeah, you can see my staff sticking out.
Evelyn already walked over there to her.
Okay, so I'm also like gonna crawl under the table too, just like
Okay.
just right next to her. Like,
Cool.
hey,
Yes.
there isn't any shit to buy.
No, we have to wait for it to start.
No, like I'm pretty sure there's like nothing here.
Oh no.
Did you find anything?
Do you think this is a trap?
I didn't, which is probably dumb.
at this point in time, Captain Zord goes over to you, Evelyn. You're still in costume, and he says, "My dear, your resplendence is diminished by these plain robes."
You Jarlaxle.
Indeed it is.
Are you doing like a disguise thing?
Yes, I am.
Oh, that's real nice.
Don't you like it?
I do. It's very revealing. I was doing a bit before with Paulton, but as usual, he got tired of it and left to do something else. So now I'm all alone. Do you want to do a bit with me?
Do I hear this?
No, but you sense it.
I'm standing right by the table.
Oh, that's true. You're not that far away. So
No.
yes, Paulton's having a whispered conversation under the table. They're having a whispered conversation by the table. And I guess Paulton and Evelyn are kind of back to back.
She like says, I turn, I'm like, I'm right here. Also, this is probably a trap. Did you not? There's nothing here.
Yeah, I know you've told me that. There's nothing between us. I get it. You don't have to rub it in. Anyway.
Look,
Sister Narai Istrid comes over to you, and Kazgrid is with her. And she says, Do you know those strange people?
Okay.
You seem
okay.
to know those strange people.
I do have a thing for this. So, not muted. So what I was going to say is, I rolled a perception to see if I heard any of this whispered conversation going on. Because as far as I knew, I was right next to the table for most of that.
Right.
You
yes.
never said that I left the table.
Right.
As far as I remember, Strix, I like looked under the table. Strix was like, this is what the plan is. And then I said, noted. And then I stepped back and kind of stood there. And then I heard her kind of like huff or something like, damn it. And then everyone else came over and I'm going to kind of just be inconspicuous and drink my empty cup and kind of listen to this shit go down. I just rolled a 24 for perception to hear whatever I can of this go down.
Yeah, we'll say you heard all of it.
Great. So
I hear a particularly loud, do you think this is a trap?
Yeah, I mean, particularly loud for you guys, but I'm going to head to Istrid before she I'm going to like get away from this thing going on. I see, Captain Nutslinger come over and start to hang out and talk.
Nice.
And I'm like, I think that this is too many protagonists in one area, so I'm going to get out of the way real quick.
Right. Istrid says, that guy who crawled under the table looks like the musical legend, Paulton Seppa.
That's the one and the same.
Legend.
We have to get out.
What? We're not leaving without the stone?
It's not here.
What do you mean?
Listen, there's someone under the table who was searching for the stone. She told me so herself. I heard her huff and puff after she cast the spell. I heard her huff and puff after casting the spell. She didn't give. She said that it wasn't there. They were talking amongst themselves and said it could be a trap. If there aren't any exits, I think that
Why should I trust her?
Turns to the table and you see her talking like, there it is, staff.
We've made a deal with the dwarves to get the stone. I can't renege on that now.
Do we need to get it now? Tonight? This is too convenient of a situation.
If it ends up in someone else's hands, we won't know who they are and we won't be able to get it.
Then we can watch. But we need to stay close to the exits. Is there any way for us to track it once it's gone?
I don't know.
If it's already hidden from any kind of scrying or detection, that's one thing. But if they've gathered all of us in here if they've gathered all of us in here on a boondoggle, we could be in for some serious trouble. Watch the exits, watch the doors, and watch everyone who works here. These four, they seem to know a little bit more than they're letting on, I reckon.
There's something familiar about them. I can't quite put my finger on it.
Don't worry, I'll handle that. Is Diath still walking around, or is he joining the under the table like kids at Thanksgiving party?
There are more people in costumes that have entered the room now, so if Diath is among them, you don't know which one he is.
Oh, he's still in the thing. Okay, cool. In that... Damn it, Jared.
But at this point in time,
among all of you.
The sun elf Zentarum bard, Davil, comes out of the restroom. It looks like something is not sitting well with his stomach. He seems a little out of sorts, like he ate something off the table that he shouldn't have, or maybe it's his very delicate elven constitution. You can't tell, but he comes over to Istrid and says, could we expedite this auction? Get this... I'm not feeling well.
They're going to try and steal the stone.
Well, I guess then we'll just have to kill them and take it.
Not exactly where my mind jumped to first, but...
The dwarves are paying us a lot of money. Let's not fuck around.
We're in a crowded room, you imbecile. We can't start that kind of... We can't handle that kind of attention.
Did he just call me did she just call me an imbecile? He says to Istrid. Istrid says, everyone calm down. We're not going to murder anybody unless we have to. This is a business transaction. And she sort of grabs the talisman around her neck, which is the symbol of Waukeen, her god, and she just starts uttering a prayer to Waukeen, the god of trade, to get this on. It is this point in time when Andvar comes into the room and taps a glass with a spoon and says, "Ladies and gentlemen, the auction is ready to get underway. If I could have you join us in the adjacent chamber."
I'm going to look at Istrid and give her like a "see what I mean" kind of a look. And
but before you head in, make sure you go to the greeting room to pick up a number sign, if you intend to be bidding on the item.
Naraya is going to look among Istrid, Davil, and Yagra and see if there's any kind of a number sign between all of us.
Davil tells Yagra to go get a sign for the group. And he says, 12 if you can swing it.
All right.
Do I hear that?
Oh, probably. But so they will head off. Yagra and Davil and Istrid will head off to the auction room and leave you, Sister Nurai, to fetch the 12 sign.
Very well. Returning to the table as briskly as I can, watching over the shoulder for Yagra and Davil and Istrid. He probably ate something with milk in it or something like that.
Seems like, yeah.
It's the cheese puffs. I'm going to head back and go to the table with the little number placards and look for number 12.
You see 11 and 13.
Just a big sigh.
Up in the distance, you hear just, ha!
The hand will go toward 13, think better of it, and get 11 instead.
Okay. Yes, and the Castellanters will choose the number 9. And the drunken Captain Zord will choose the number 8.
Are we all still like kind of under this table?
Yes.
At this point,
Yes.
I think Dieth had kind of wandered over to the table where you're all hanging out underneath it.
Just like
You usually
legs
go under the
Evelyn
table.
is not. Evelyn is on Jarlaxle's arm now,
Oh, well,
doing a bit.
you know,
Yes.
Dieth knows like pretty much everyone's there, so he at least like kind of goes in that direction to kind of reconvene before we get our numbers and go to the auction area.
Very good. And before I forget, Captain Zord will introduce you, Evelyn, to his company for the evening. 2 lovely and talented women who perform in the Sea Maidens Fair.
Ooh. Evelyn has lots of questions about that.
Yes, and one of them is introduced to you as Margot Verida. She is a musician and an acrobat. And the other one is introduced to you as Kafita Mirzan. I'm sorry, Margot is a lyrist and Kafita is the acrobat.
Margot is the lyrist and Kafita is the acrobat.
Yes. And he says, I would introduce you, of course, but I don't want to betray your secret identity.
I'm very mysterious.
Alton like pokes his head from the table. It's like, Evelyn, can you come here? We have to talk about something.
Evelyn is like, very mysterious.
I start like throwing stuff. Evelyn.
Evelyn throws something back at him.
Like, yes, you've reciprocated. Can you come here, please?
Strix and Paulton, you see feet walk past you heading toward the auction room, and pretty soon you're just kind of alone under the table and most of the other people are clearing out of the room.
Okay. Well, we have to follow them.
I don't think we should go in there. I think this is some kind of setup.
I'm going in there.
Evelyn, don't.
If this is a setup,
Please.
who would be setting it up?
I don't know.
So
Dude,
you know for a
it's
fact
Waterdeep.
that this auction was set up by Lady Rajnar.
Lady Rajnar.
Wait, who's Lady Rajmar? I forgot.
Me too.
Black Viper.
Huh?
Isn't she a Black Viper?
That's right. It's a trap. It was set up by the Black Viper. It's a trap. I'm just
Rolling
saying.
for that one.
Like, Evelyn, just come here, please.
Evelyn, Jarlaxle's trying to pull you in the other direction.
I will be safe doing what we came here to do.
If you go in there, it will not be good.
Here.
You gonna listen? You gonna listen to him?
It would be very awkward for me to just go stand next to a table while everyone else is walking in. That's very party etiquette.
By now, her voice is so far away, like 15, 20 feet away, that you're not sure she's coming back.
Can I like dimension door right in front of her?
Sure.
Just, I'm like, are you fucking serious right now?
Even like
Come with me.
them aside, and she's like,
There was a plan. Now there's no plan. Now we just have to do something instead of standing by a table and doing nothing. Otherwise, we're going to get killed.
We're leaving.
I assure you, you are quite safe with me.
Oh my God! Just
Why
shut,
would we
shut,
leave?
shut. Because like, can you excuse me so that you don't have to listen to this whole conversation? Just like 3 feet. 3 feet. Come on. It's like if we go in there, then they'll try to kill us. If we stay here and look weird, they're gonna try to kill us. We should go.
Don't we want to go to the auction? The auction is in
We
there.
have to do the auction.
Why? There's
Why
nothing.
would we? If we leave, what will happen then?
There's no stuff
How do you know that?
because I looked around. I
Maybe
snooped.
it'll appear. Maybe they have a dimension door or something. We don't know that.
Stick together, we'll be fine. And if anything else, Strix can just pop us back to the house.
This is true. If something bad happens, we can just go back to the house.
People wonder why I'm the most disconnected character. Fine. Let's go with your little boyfriend here.
Sister Narai, when you get to the circle around back through at the sign and get into the auction room, you can see that Davil and Yagra are sitting side by side. Istrid is sitting next to Kazgrid, and there is a seat left between Davil and Istrid for you, sort of the middle member of that 5-member group.
Excellent. Jared, Diath,
Hello.
you were not consorting with the other ones, right? You kind of avoided their little table party.
I don't know how much I was able to avoid.
I
He definitely wasn't. I'm sure Strix
Yeah.
was looking back every 2 seconds, being like, "I think it's a trap."
Yeah.
Basically, would I have been able, Chris and or Jared and or others, would you think I would be able to figure out who Diath is? Because
Yeah.
Narai is of the mind that Diath is the only, like, fairly competent member.
If
Of
he-
the,
Narai's not wrong.
If he didn't look like
Yes.
another half dozen people dressed similarly, he'd be much easier to identify.
If nothing else, I'd say because I kind of lagged behind, whereas everyone else very quickly went to the other room and I guess kind of lagged behind for like the other 3.
Yeah.
That might make me
so,
So-
I know that the 3 of you are there. So, forbidding illness or something like that, I can assume that Diath is in the room.
Through,
and
through process of elimination, just looking at how these masked and robed figures behave, you can probably conclude which one is Diath, because he's the one who wants to keep the party in view. None of the other masked people give 2 shits about what's happening under the table, but this one masked figure seems concerned.
So the crosshairs come in on him, and I'm like, motherfucker. So I go. So Narai advances silently, as always, on Diath, and firmly grasps his shoulder with a gloved hand, and says, "Woodrow." Just leering daggers at him.
a stalwart, no response.
Continuing to look at him, just saying, "What are you and your catalog of insipid cretins doing here now?"
Exactly what I'm always doing. Making sure we do the right thing.
We talked about this last time. Now, who are you working with? And how sure are you that the stone is here in the first place?
I'm not working with anyone. Let me just check my memory real fast. It's a lot of memory.
Also, just a side note, like I don't immediately go in after everyone goes in. Like I did plan to like come back and wrangle Dieth at some point, but it can be after this.
Yeah, I'm still planning on doing our plan that we talked about, which is when the stone comes out, probably gonna Misty Step next to it, and then pick it up, and then Quicken Spell exit. That's my plan. Also, alter self beforehand to look like Manchun.
All right. Okay.
And I'll pull my mask off like dramatically and be like, boo! And then I'm gone.
Would Narai know who Manchun is? Considering Strix literally said that name directly to her?
Yes, you know that Manchun is the mastermind of a fragment of the Zentarum that is not associated with your Zentarum group. Those two, there was a schism in the organization. Manchun is considered to be too extreme, too evil, too corrupt, and too locked into the ways of the past to really be part of the group these days. And so your group has been actively trying to subvert and or destroy his organization.
Okay. Great. The Jefferson Davis of Waterdeep, dare I say.
Yeah.
Great. I will I'll say and I'll look at Dieth and say, of all the people here you could impersonate, do you think that Manchun is the best choice?
I'm not impersonating anyone. Thank you.
Are you in on your own plan?
Nonsense.
Amateurs. I'm going to say watch your back. But I think that we aren't necessarily enemies here. Not yet.
Dieth will just kind of give like a masked nod. Kind of like, yeah.
I'm going to Narai is going to turn on her heel and head back to Istrid and her seat, where she will say, they're going to be in the disguise of Manchun. All four of them are here, Paulton and his ilk.
My ilk?
I mean, I assume one of them is your bassist or something like that.
Yeah.
I mean,
Fair.
And Istrid sort of shoots a glance past you to Davil and says, do you have counterspell prepared? And he says, no. And she says, well, I guess we may have to be preemptive.
I'll look at Istrid Narai looks at Istrid with wide eyes and says, Plan B then?
Plan B.
How did I know it would come to this? And nodding at a signal at Davil and Yagra, she's going to hand the 11 placard to
Istrid.
Yes, thank you. And kind of awkwardly, as always, edge her way out of the road, and get to the edge of the room. And gonna kind of scope things out, see where the employee entrance to the stage is, see if there are any uniforms that people are wearing, see if there are any exits, either not just on this level but out and above.
There are two exits from the room. One leading to where the food is on display, the other leading toward the greeting chamber.
Okay. So
the stage is right between them.
And there are no doors leading off the stage. It just appears to be
Correct.
like stairs.
It's a corner stage with no doors leading off of it.
Okay. And the walls are stone?
The walls are stone. The doors are wood, but the walls are stone.
Okay. All right.
And everything is sort of magically lit with continual light spells.
Excellent. All right. Good.
At this point in time, almost everybody is settled unless you tell me otherwise.
I wanted to talk to Dieth before we go in there. I like walk back out, and there's nothing party. There's nothing like, it's just a like very stoic, stern walk. He just walks up and goes, "Yo, I don't exactly remember why we need this stone or why we're doing it, because I don't listen half the time. But whatever the TLDR is, once we do this thing, we're going to do that other thing we talked about. Okay? Remember, there was stuff we were going to look for."
Yeah, of course. I haven't forgotten.
Good. Great. So if we get out of this alive, once we do this thing, we do that thing.
Of
Cool.
course. Yeah, I'm not forgetting that or putting you aside.
Great. Then he just like walks away, doesn't let him finish.
Okay.
All right.
Question, really quick.
Yep.
Could I animate a bunch of pastries in the shape of a person?
Only on DCA.
You probably don't have a person's amount of pastries on your person.
No, I mean around me. Like out in there's all those pastries and
Oh,
desserts.
well, you can do, since they're discrete objects, I mean, you can animate as many as the spell allows. So
Okay.
if it's a tiny object, you can animate, let's see. Well, the spell tells you. You can choose up to 10 non-magical objects within range.
Okay.
And
Strix's pastry golem.
so there you go.
So if I twin that, I can get 20.
Yeah, assuming you can twin that spell, sure.
All I'm saying is that if I can animate a bunch of pastries and put Manchun's robe over it, I will just...
Now you'll probably have to go back out into where the pastries are to do that, because
Right.
you have to physically put the robe on your mountain of pastries.
Right. All right.
And then
well,
of course you'll have to take your robe off to get the robe.
Well, I can do it like that, like when you're like changing into a bathing suit and have like a big towel on top of it, and you just kind of like pull it to the side and just like so it's underneath the
Sure.
other robe.
Sure, but there's the Harlequin mask you have to take off in the hat.
Oh yeah, that's right. Okay, never mind. I won't do that. It's fine. I'll just die.
Oh, well, I guess that's the fine other option. So at this point in time, Andvar takes the stage. Diath, are you staying outside?
No, I'll have grabbed my own number.
Okay.
19. And
19.
just go into the auction area.
Okay. You can see people all now seated in their groups with all their numbered placards at the ready to hold up to start bidding. Andvar says, "Ladies and gentlemen," and he holds out what looks like a bag, and he pulls out of the bag this.
Oh shit, that's it.
Oh shit, it is here.
And says, "The Stone of Galore, a sentient artifact that can communicate telepathically with any intelligent creature that attunes to it. Within this stone is a vast archive of knowledge and secret lore not found in the greatest libraries of Faerun. A glossy 1-pound stone with 3 eyes and the ability to perceive its surroundings, the stone harbors the intellect of an ancient and powerful creature called an aboleth, named Galore, complete with a domineering personality and a desire to exert its formidable will upon any who attune to it. The bidding will start at 10,000 gold pieces." You see somebody in the back holds up a number sign, and then it goes up to 15. Another sign goes up 20. Another sign goes up 25. Another one 30, 35, 40.
Evelyn clutches Jarlaxle's arm. She's like, "Oh, bid for me, my love. Bid
Where's my sign? No. He will hold up a sign on your command, Evelyn, and raise the bid to 50,000. Then you see Lord Castellanter hold his sign up for 55. Istrid, 60. Jarlaxle leans in and says, we do want it pretty badly, don't we?
Oh, yes, we do.
I did promise to give half of the money to the orphanage of your choice. Mm-hmm. He holds up his sign, and more signs go up.
Eye-rolling.
At this point, Strix is going to alter herself under her robes to look like Manshoon.
Is there a way for me to catch Diath on the way in?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to stop him and say, trust me when I say you don't. Trust me when I say you don't want this stone, or at least not bad enough to implicate yourself at the level you're about to.
As this is happening, Lady Castellanter gets up out of her seat and leaves her husband there with the manservant and makes her way toward the exit, toward you, Sister Narai, and toward you, Diath.
What kinds of people do you think you're dealing with in this room?
I know exactly the kind of people I'm dealing with in this room.
And as the bidding gets up to 80,000 gold, Lady Castellanter has left the room.
Do I take note
Is
of
she
this?
leaving a
Yes.
huff?
No.
That's bad. I'm going to look at Diath and Narai will look at Diath and say, "See what I mean?
Oh no.
The person who pays the most isn't the one who's going to leave with the stone. It's the last one standing."
No, I understand that. I know exactly who that is. This is wrong. All of this is wrong.
Yes, do you think that bringing Manshoon into it will help things?
It'd be funny, though.
You're not here.
You are now, underneath your robes, you are now Manshoon. Strix,
Yay!
waiting for your moment.
Haul
That
her off.
transformation, and she leans over to Jarlaxle and she's like, whatever happens next, just go with it.
He holds up the sign, and the bidding hits 100,000 gold, and there are hushes about the room. You see a number of other bidders just sort of put their signs in their lap, realizing they are way out of their league. And that's when Istrid holds up the sign, and it becomes 125.
Hits Jarlaxle's shoulder and she's like, don't you think I'm worth 125,000 gold? And starts like screaming.
Oh my god. As she's doing that, Strix is going to cast Thaumaturgy to cause all the lights to go off and all of the doors and windows to close.
There are no windows.
Okay.
But there are 2 doors that will basically close the doors after Lady Castellanter has left the room.
Okay.
The other door is already shut. So the lights start to blink out. I'd like everybody to roll initiative.
Oh boy.
Cool.
Well,
It's 24.
24.
Chris, I'm sorry that this is how I play Dungeons and Dragons.
No, that's totally fine. That's all cool. Holly, what did you roll for Strix?
I got a 9.
Jared?
8.
8. Anna?
14.
14. And Nathan?
26.
26. All right.
Well, at least one of us.
So the lights start blinking rapidly. Paulton, what do you do?
The lights go out and he just kind of looks around like, huh, and just keeps sitting.
Okay.
No one's actually like fighting or anything.
Yep. Sister,
Actually,
Even
like to
called
imagine
distraction
that-
force.
This whole time I like to imagine Paul was actually saying, just like standing up against the back wall.
Yeah.
Just frustration. Just
Uh-huh.
like arms crossed and looks around like, eh.
Sister Narai, what do you do when the magical lights in the room start to flicker?
Okay, so I will immediately use 2 key to cast Dark Vision. So that's handled. And then are there guards? Are there staff? Or is it just Andvar?
It's just Andvar and the stone on the stage, and then all of the bidders.
Yeah, there are so many reasons I don't like any of this. All right. So Narai is going to Narai is going to move up toward the side. Is going to so cast Dark Vision. So that's the action. and then move up toward the side of the stage, toward the side of the room, toward the stage. So if we're here, right, and I assume the exits are like down here and down here, it's going to kind of move up toward, not onto the stage, but just like kind of near the stairs, assuming somebody's going to try and jump up on that shit.
And are you trying to be stealthy, like in the shadows kind of thing?
If I can, assuming that literally everything is shadows.
Yeah, well, things are getting kind of dark with the lights blinking out.
Want to make a stealth roll?
Sure, that'd be great.
Let's make a stealth roll. All right. Let's see what we got here. Oh yeah. Remember that die you gave me? I just got the D&D symbol.
Nice.
Cool.
All right.
So that's +8. So I'm invisible.
You blend. All right. Yes. So you disappear into the shadows, very, very close to the stage, within almost an arm's reach, you'd say, of Anvar. You know, a bit of a leap in an arm's reach.
Doable. Is he within range? And do I have room to say something quick?
You sure do.
Anvar, take the stone and get out.
He says to you. Actually, just sort of turns to the shadow, surprised that your voice is there. It just kind of looks into the shadows to try to see this blurry shape somehow hidden that is Sister Narai, and says, I'm just Lady Esvali's proxy. I don't want this thing.
Then let me handle it.
That's against the rules.
So is turning off all the lights.
And
do you think we're going by the rules anymore? And I think that's going to conclude my turn. Probably.
Okay, sure. Next up is Jarlaxle. He sees the blinking lights, and he says, I can do one better. And he will cast a spell that envelops the entire chamber in utter darkness.
God damn it.
All right, so it's
wasn't the point.
Absolutely black in the room. There is nothing anybody can see in the room whatsoever. And Evelyn, you feel Jarlaxle slip free of your grasp.
Action force!
Next up is Andvar, who stops talking and is in the darkness. He is going to thrust the stone at you, Sister Narai. You feel it press against you.
Perfect.
And as you do, you immediately, as soon as you take it, you realize that it's kind of alive, that in the darkness it is now speaking to you, and it says, "Attune to me."
So that I assume would be a save of some kind.
Nope. You just think it really wants you to attune to it, but there's no saving throw. Attunement isn't something that happens instantaneously. It requires several minutes.
Would it take an action to wrap it in my cloak and just say, "In a minute"?
Well, you have it, but
okay,
yeah,
great.
And nobody can see you because it's pitch black.
And everyone here attuned to me, or is it just Narai?
I'm sorry?
Can everyone hear? Is it like a baseball announcer going, "Attune to me"?
Not at all. It seems to be
it
seems to be a telepathic command.
Great, super.
All right, and that's all that Andvar does on his turn. Next up, let's see. You don't know what they're doing because it's pitch black. Don't know what she's doing because it's pitch black. And then it is his turn. Don't know what he's doing because it's pitch black. Oh, he can't target him because it's pitch black. There is a lot of panic in the room as people start to get up from their chairs and flail their way blindly toward exits. And then, Evelyn, I would like you to make a dexterity saving throw, because you're getting knocked and pushed around by this crowd making a beeline out of the room.
14.
Okay, you find yourself kind of thrown down on the floor and almost trampled by some folks. You don't take any damage. It's more annoying than anything.
Excuse Great.
But there's a lot of pushing and shoving, and you are sort of one of the people who got knocked down. So you hit the ground. The women beside you also got bowled over, or at least one of them did. And it is your turn, Evelyn. You can't see anything.
I can't see anything, but I can sense good and evil.
You sure can.
I am going to use divine sense to sense what's evil in the room.
Okay. You are picking up a powerful force of evil. So powerful you think it might be a demon or a devil.
Whoops.
And it is coming from the stage or thereabouts.
Okay, so Evelyn in the dark, she just takes a deep breath.
There is also other evil in the room, but nothing of that magnitude.
She's like, this is why you brought me a new toy. Praise Lysander. And then she just closes her eyes and senses the location of that evil and just winds up and goes straight for it with the light fall.
Okay, I'm going to need you to make a attack roll, but at disadvantage because you can't see.
Okay.
And even when you sort of light up your weapon, you can't see its light.
Okay. 19.
And what's your other roll? Did you roll?
21.
Did you roll twice? Okay. Then you hit this creature, whatever it is.
How does it feel when I hit it?
Not
Squishy?
not good. It is squishy.
Does
Ow.
it smell anything?
It smells of brimstone.
Does it cry out at all?
It hisses. Roll damage.
I haven't used this in so long. It's just like so nice. And she's using two hands.
Mhm.
So that's going to be... Okay. It's D10 plus 4 is the base. So 12 plus... I'm assuming this is going to get the radiant damage? Is this...
It will take the radiant damage, yep.
Okay, so 12 plus 2d6. Oh man, 1 and 5. So 18 total.
Okay.
We're going to use Divine Smite,
Okay.
which is going to give her, and in fact, she'll do that. I mean, she felt that being real evil, so she's going to do it at 3rd level. So that's going to be, what did I just say the total was?
18.
18, okay. Plus, so 13, 21, 29, 30, 37, and plus an extra 1 because it's a fiend, right?
Correct.
Plus 5. What did I just say? Man, my memory's so bad today. 30,
31.
31 plus 7. So, no, plus 5. So 36.
Okay, great. You have a second attack?
Yes.
Oh my god.
By
Bring-
the light of Lathander, even in darkness ye shall be smited. Is this at a disadvantage again?
Yes.
Oh, man. Okay. 18, though.
Okay, that's going to hit.
Okay.
Next person, by the way, is going to be DF.
While I add up my damage.
Yep.
Let's see. 14 plus... 32 plus 56.
Great. Did you say 56?
56.
All right.
And that was
37
divine
plus
smite
56.
at first level.
37
Those were
full
good
thing
rolls.
altogether.
What?
Got it. Got it. Okay, so it hisses.
Oh, I didn't account for improved divine smite. That gives me 1 more. Add 4.
Thank you. Got it. And then right before Dieth acts, there is some blood that splashes on you, Sister Narai. You think it must have come from Anvar. It's
my
warm
God.
and wet, but he just got skewered or by something or other. And then as you are momentarily distracted by that, Dieth, what do you do?
So I was one of the last people to enter in.
Yes.
And when I was in there, did I see any other exits or anything from this room?
There was one other exit besides the one you're standing in front of, and that's on the other side of the stage.
Damn it. All right, but for the most part, most people entered in through this side.
Absolutely all of them did.
And Lady Castellanter, she went out the one.
Behind you.
Yeah, okay. So basically, knowing she went that way and knowing just based on familiarity, I'd assume most people would panic and try to run back this way as well.
Mm-hmm.
I am going to kind of like slink my way out of that room.
Yep.
Be in that hallway near that entrance, waiting for people to come out.
Once you step out of the room, you're no longer in the darkness.
Great. Yeah, so I'm going to step out that way and basically watching that doorway for anyone to come out. And if I happen to see anyone holding the Stone of Galore, I'm just going to like bump into them.
Okay. Sister Narai, a creature attempts to grab you.
Is it still dark?
It is still pitch black, so you can't see
Hey.
it. It has advantage on its attack roll, and it rolled a nat 20. It grabs you, and when it does, it's like its whole body is covered with barbed spines, and it just tries to impale you on its body as it hugs you.
Rude.
You can also feel spines on its arms and long hands that coil around you. So it does a total of 16 points of damage, and you are grappled by it.
Okay, great.
And it says something to you in Infernal, but you probably don't know what that is.
Nope.
And then something akin to a fireball goes off in the room. Everybody must make dexterity saving throws.
Oh, that wasn't me.
Everybody?
Except Dieth.
But I'm the-
Dexterity saving, you said?
Yep.
Anyone who's close to me can get my aura. I don't know if anyone is.
Dang it.
+5.
I'm not.
I rolled a dexterity saving throw just for fun anyway because I'm really good at it. And I feel good. And I rolled a natural 20. It's just
Oh
There
no!
you go.
record.
What is that all
what's-
added up?
What's the range of the aura?
What do you mean?
I think that one is 10. Let me check.
Oh,
Yeah,
10 feet.
Am I within 10 feet?
No.
Okay, then it's a dirty 20.
Okay. All right.
This is a
17.
dexterity save.
Yeah, this is a dexterity save. And the
Okay.
saving DC is 15.
18. We good.
Okay, if you saved successfully, you take 24 points of damage.
No.
If you failed, you take 48.
And the save was what? Sorry?
15.
And if you're tiefling, you take half of that.
And if
Oh,
you're
that's
tiefling,
right.
well, actually, you take not quite half because some of it is actually radiant damage.
Never mind.
So
Do I take
if
radiant
you're a tiefling, yes, you do. If you're a tiefling, you would take. Sorry, did you save, Holly?
I did, yes.
So you would take 36. No, that's not. Sorry, nope, 12.
Okay.
Yeah. And after that goes off, another spell goes off.
Can I counterspell this? I don't know what's happening.
No, you can't because you can't see it.
God damn it.
All right.
I'm in the darkness going, it's real, Manchun!
I'm real, Manchun! Oh, shit.
Am I really Manchun?
All
I'm
right.
having a crisis.
Another explosion goes off. I'd like everybody, again, to make dexterity saving throws if you're in the room. The save DC is 14.
Oh, no. I didn't make it this time.
Got 18.
26.
Wait,
nice.
aren't I lucky now?
What?
19.
Are you a halfling? 19. Okay. Strix?
I got an 18.
Okay. So it sounds like all of you made it. So you
I
will.
did not.
Okay. You take 36 points of damage, Evelyn. And everybody else takes 18 except Strix, who takes 9.
Ow!
So 18 for Paulton, 18 for Sister Narai, 9 for
Okay.
Strix.
I don't know if it's real Manchun anymore.
All right. And then another spell goes off.
Oh no, it's him!
Paul's just standing in the back as this is all happening. He's just, yep.
All right. That's not going to do it. Yeah. And suddenly there's a lot of sound like people kind of hitting the floor, just toppling over. But none of you are affected. But a lot of the screams of panic have stopped like that as people just suddenly collapse. But Diath, that's when people start to pour out of the room, in some cases throwing off their garb to reveal their true faces in a panic, looking for an exit as they run past you, but none of them look familiar. A few of them still have their garb on, but they're disheveled or their masks have come off and all that kind of business. And then one of the young women who was in the company of that gregarious sea captain comes out. She's got a boa around her neck, not a snake, but a feather boa. And she also looks around for the exit as well, but doesn't go too far. She sort of turns back to the darkness to see if anybody else she knows emerges.
Chris, I have resistance to damage from spells.
Okay. So you would take half damage from each of those.
Okay.
And
So also real quick, Narai has evasion.
Yep. Well, that's
I-
important.
Is that yes?
If you
Is
have
that
evasion,
compromised?
if you have evasion, you would take no damage from any of them.
Precisely. Cool. Okay. Thank you.
All right.
In that case, I just took the 16 damage from the gnarly bear hug.
Correct. Strix, what do you do?
Okay.
I'm gonna dispel this darkness. Well, first, I'm not gonna be Manchun anymore because I think real Manchun's found me out.
Okay.
So-
When you dispel the darkness, you see all the chaos around you.
Ah!
Victoro Castellenter is there. You see that the tip of his cane is glowing red, the ruby tip.
I immediately look at him and I go, "Oh my God, he's gonna steal the stone!"
And then the tiefling with him turns to you and gives you an angry look. You see that Sister Narai is in the grasp of a barbed devil.
Oh, that's yours.
I thought it was barbed. If it's barbed, I like that a lot
Yeah.
more. It's way cooler.
And so this devil has him impaled and in his
Okay.
clutches. Anvar is lying
Oh,
dead
God.
or unconscious on the stage with Jarlaxle standing over him. Jarlaxle's rapier bloodied.
Okay.
And you can see no sign. Oh, and of the Zentarum members, you can see that as soon as the darkness drops, the sun elf begins to cast a spell,
Oh God.
and it's your turn. You still have movement left after you dispel it. And there are there are a bunch of people sleeping on the floor. They got hit by a sleep
Got it.
spell.
All right. Well, my concern is that devil, and I look at the devil because I know that I make eyes with the candelabras first, like neener, because they can't hurt me.
Neener.
So I make like neener eyes at them, like, and then I look at the barb devil and I yell at it in Infernal, and I say, "Why would you be slaves to these masters when you could serve under one who's stronger than them?" And I intimidate him to let go
The
of
devil?
Sister Narai. Yeah.
Does the devil look at all?
Yeah, sure, absolutely.
Yeah, I intimidate him.
Can I use a bonus action?
Not only on your turn.
Okay.
You can use a reaction off turn.
Oh, yeah. Okay, cool.
Okay, so make an intimidation check against the barbed devil.
It's 24.
Big yikes.
Now, normally, this devil is completely under the thrall of the individual who summoned it, in this case, Lord Castellenter. However, Strix, you sense the intervention of a powerful evil force that lends such weight to your words that the voice coming out of your mouth is completely unrecognizable to you.
Oh, I didn't want that. Oh, God.
And is speaking in a language you have never spoken before in your life, something akin to a dark speech.
Ooh,
And
yay.
as you speak to this devil, cracks in the walls of the room appear. And
Oof.
the devil almost looks like it starts to bleed black pus out from pores in its skin as it releases. And as soon as it does, it sort of sighs with relief that it wasn't split in half. And Sister
I hope
Narai,
everyone in the room's just as fucked up as I am over this.
when Victoro sees that, you see his little light on the end of his cane just kind of go out.
And I guess I just look at them all and I just say, "Get out!"
And Sister Narai, you are no longer being held. And that's Strix's action, which brings us back to the top
Holy
with
shit!
Paulton.
What was that?
Paulton, you don't know what came out of Strix's mouth, but if you never hear those words again, it'll be too soon.
I was just trying to be spooky, not that spooky.
And you can see that her shadow behind her on the wall has this dreadful, fiendish countenance that just sort of subsides back into her normal form once she's done.
Okay.
So Hellspeed, fiend, shadow, cracks in the wall, black blood pus. Paul just kind of like hoists himself off the wall. Just kinda, and just like walks out the door.
Okay. steps daintily over all the unconscious people on the floor and makes his way outside. Diath, you see Paulton emerge.
All right. What the hell is that?
I like put a hand on his shoulder and just like, we're all rooting for you, buddy. And just keeps walking.
As you keep walking, there is a servant standing there with a plate. You can just sort of grab a wine cup off of the plate as you go.
Yep.
Sister Narai.
Okay. I have a thing.
You
for
have the
this.
stone.
Yes, very much so. So I need to kind of diagram this for a second. So
Paulton
there's,
has left
a lot
the
of
building.
light happening. No, I got you.
Okay.
So there's a lot of light happening here. So I wanted to kind of double check something here.
Sure.
So here's the light, right?
Yep.
Here's the corner stage, right?
Yeah.
And the demon, I moved up the side next to the wall and was like, yo, give me the thing. The demon grabs me facing the wall.
Yeah.
And then the light that's being cast from behind him.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Shadows.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm going here?
Okay, you got shadows.
And I just got dropped.
Yes.
And I'm just gonna shadow step.
Okay.
And try and appear in the midst of the crowd or in the doorway or just anywhere away from the stage that isn't lit.
Do you have to appear in a location you can see?
Can I see any other?
Yeah, you can
location?
see you can see locations. I'm just curious to know what it actually says.
It says, when you are in dim light of darkness, blah, 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 you can teleport up to 60 feet to an unoccupied space you can see that is also in dim light or darkness.
Yes, so you can,
which is to say,
there are some shadows cast by the open doors. You could basically get out of the room into the doorway of the other room.
If I can mix with the screaming, escaping crowd.
Yeah. All right. Make a stealth check against Diath's perception check.
Sweet, can do.
Good luck on this one, buddy.
Thanks, bud. You too. My stealth check is a 21.
Oh.
My perception is a 24.
Oh!
Diath, you see Sister Narai, and she has the Stone of Galore in her clutches.
Great. So as she's like coming out with the rest of the crowd, trying to like get away,
is it like a lump under my cape? I wouldn't feel like I'd be like, got it, we're good.
Yes.
Like a NASCAR trophy.
Yeah. I do that thing.
It's a very high perception.
I do that thing where I accidentally get in the way. Where I'm just like, oops, and like, kind of like force her to kind of like bump into me with such force that we both go tumbling kind of over. Mm-hmm. And during that is when I make my attempt to sleight of hand the stone off of her.
I'm gonna make a dex check to not.
I'm gonna say that's fair. You can each make, if you both have sleight of hand, you can make contested sleight of hand checks.
I don't. I just have dex.
Okay.
Or would that be strength?
You can choose strength if you want.
I'm gonna choose dex.
Okay.
My sleight of hand is also really good.
Pretty good. I got a 24.
26.
Shit.
Damn. Nice.
I got 5 plus 15.
Okay. So you swindle it away from him in the tumble that you orchestrate. You swindle the stone away from him. Sister Narai, or her, I should say, Sister Narai, you realize right away that he's slipped the stone out of your possession.
I'm going to look at him.
And all you've done at this point is, was that an action to move to Shadow Step?
That was it was a bonus action.
So you still have your action.
Shadow Step is a bonus action. And I get advantage on the first melee attack I make before the end of the turn.
Great. What do you want to do?
I am going to try and use a non-lethal attack. What do we have here? Hang on. I'm looking for something specific.
Man, this is an all-out stat war right here.
We're going to wrap up soon, just so everybody knows.
Yeah. Hey, all right, great. So I rolled a high roll of 17 plus my attack bonus, which is a +8, 25 to hit Diath.
Okay.
Yeah, that's gonna hit.
Stunning strike.
Boom. Okay, and he has to make a saving throw, correct?
Yes, Constitution saving throw.
And he's going to take damage, right?
Yes, that is accurate. So I'm going to roll damage and you can roll a throw.
With damage, uncanny dodge.
So yes, you can reduce the damage by half, definitely.
In that case, then you just take it would be do you round up or down? Because it's
Down.
7 damage.
Down.
So 3.
Okay.
So whap. You get
So
whap.
basically, I'm just gonna pop it. I'm gonna sock you in the jaw.
Right.
Yeah.
And now
then,
Constitution saving throw.
Damn, sister.
14?
My what is my thing? I have it right here. It is. Oh Jesus. My key. Oh, DC 16.
All right. So you're stunned. The stone clatters on and rolls across the floor.
We're gonna do. I'm gonna do a cartoon style, like fling myself at the stone.
Wait, you know what? Sorry, I know we're like just PvPing our stats so bad.
No, do it.
I need this more than ever. I'm using my human determination to give myself advantage on that saving throw.
Roll again.
I love this.
Make another roll.
I don't
So
think you
into
understand how badly I need this stone, Brooks Donahue.
All right, Jared
Where
Leto.
are you?
Yeah, good question.
Oh, shut up! 17.
Yo!
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
16 plus
So
1.
about this, man.
Okay. So it does not go tumbling off. You do manage to hold onto it.
I'm so into this.
Yes. Gosh.
Strix, help!
Strix, help.
Strix is in the other room just pissing herself.
Nope.
Gross.
Okay. Next up is Jarlaxle. He will stride out of the room, look down on Diath, and hold out his hand for the stone.
Ugh.
No.
You see his rapier dripping blood on the floor, but pointed down.
But he was my date.
There is a signal for escape. You remember the escape?
I thought I just shouted it.
Did you?
What do you do, Diath?
I'm outside and probably at least see this.
Yeah, you see it.
It's like, why is anyone surprised?
That's helpful, Paulton.
Yeah, well,
He doesn't
Paulton
say
is-
anything.
Yeah, Paulton is nearby though, right?
Yeah, he's behind Drist right now. Or not Drist, Jarlaxle.
Yeah.
I was just like sitting, legs swinging on a table, sipping wine.
Yeah.
Well. Oh man.
Evelyn is nowhere near this, right?
Correct. She's still in the room. Hacking at a devil.
DF is not going to give it to him.
Ruh-roh.
Can't
Yell the signal.
All right.
give it to him.
That's where we'll stop.
Ugh. No.
Wow.
How far off was that from what you expected
It
to
was.
happen, Chris?
I was not expecting really anything. I knew what the bad guys were going to do. Of course, I had no rational reason to understand what would happen when they came into contact with you. So everything was completely unexpected.
Oh.
So we have to wrap this up. So I want to thank Brooks for joining us. Brooks, I don't know what your schedule is like next week. If you can't join us, I understand perfectly. If you can, you're more than welcome.
I will beg my boss to PTO it.
Okay.
My best.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. And we loved having you. And Sister Narai is such a treat. And
No, you. Thank you so much. It's such a treat and privilege to be here. So thank
Yeah,
you so much.
yeah.
And, I really, really appreciate it and had a great time playing with you guys, as always.
Yay.
Just so everybody knows, Jared is going to be on the C team tomorrow. Want to talk about a little bit about that?
Yeah. So tomorrow, over on the Acquisitions Incorporated C team, I'll be showing up over there. Let me find all my information for it, which I currently cannot. Good job, Jared. That's fine. So that'll be happening tomorrow. I believe it starts at 3:34. I want to say, over on the Penny Arcade Twitch stream, where DS will be showing up over there and joining all the others. So be sure to come on by for that. Plus, if you watch and donate any kind of bits during the stream, you can help give DS a boon to help give him an extra power or ability or advantage roll during the stream. Plus, all those bits go to charity. So yeah, come by tomorrow and watch me do that.
And what timeline is this?
It'll be after the auction.
Okay,
Vaguely shortly after the auction.
fair.
Yeah.
There might be some things we'll have to do depending on how next week's episode plays out.
I could be dead.
It may not be the real Diath who shows up on the C team.
Okay.
Oh God.
We'll have to see.
Why do you have a mustache and weirdly thicker eyes?
Why wasn't Jarlaxle scared of the whole devil business? That was scary.
Not to him.
I feel like he's seen this
Oh.
shit before.
He's seen everything before.
He's like Gary from college? Holy shit.
Oh my God.
Drow consort with demons, and demons are even worse than devils.
That's fair. Well, Strix had never seen it before and was upset.
Well,
I have an announcement.
Yes.
We're going to be at PAX East.
Oh
We'll
boy.
be there doing a panel, a signing, appearances at Idle Champions, a live game on the main stage, and we will be selling our merch. We'll have more of our pins that we ran out of last time, our Everything's Fine waffle pins. We'll have our shirts, and we'll have some new merch, which we have yet to reveal. So I hope that you all will come say hi to us. And also thank PAX for constantly having us as guests. We really appreciate it.
all right. If there are no further announcements.
Uh,
Yes, Brooks.
Oh, yeah. People are still asking who Brooks Donahue is. There's a Reddit AMA about that. If you want me to do a follow-up one, I guess I can. Because
And where would they find such a Reddit, Jared?
Ooh, good question.
Great question.
Well, you can find all that kind of information, including additional discussion, fan art, and theories over at r/DiceCameraAction, and I'm gonna spam that link. Get that link.
Do it up. Also, I help run a LARP. It's called Spite. It's in Washington State. If you want to come, it's happening at the end of the month. Come play with us because it's crazy and post-apocalyptic and intense. And if you like Starship Troopers, you will like this LARP. But I don't know if
That's awesome.
That's fun.
Yep.
And I guess the last thing I'll say is on behalf of the Idle Champions crew, they just added in Lady Viper as an unlockable character, and they actually base it off of Vivka's appearance as
Nice.
Lady Viper from Dice Camera Action. So,
Yep.
in a sense, you can also get the Black Viper to show up within your party along with the rest of the Dice Camera Action crew.
Awesome. All right, then. Then that's a wrap for this week, folks. Sorry to run long. I'm going to try to keep it to an hour and 45 going forward. But when shit goes down, shit goes down.
Yeah.
Goes down hard.
Yeah. So we'll be back next week. Until then, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and bye for now.
Bye.